Thank you, everyone, for attending. Excited to be here, excited to see live events happening again, so it's nice to be in person. Pleased to be on the stage with Nat. We were just at a Salesforce event 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, and sorry for the bait and switch with the hair. Totally, just chopped it off recently, so I am that person, I promise.
Yeah, she surprised me. So yeah, we were just at Trailblazer, a Salesforce event. And we'll be at Connections in next week.
Next week, Connections.
In Chicago.
Salesforce event, yeah.
So we're doing a roadshow of what Unity and Salesforce is building together and offering to our customers as a joint offering. So with that, myself, I'm a senior business strategy manager at Unity Technologies. Work in the product org in the non-gaming division, which we're calling the digital twin org now. We just rebranded. Nat?
Hi, everyone. I'm Natalija. You can call me Nat Pavic. I'm a senior product strategist for Commerce Cloud. So we are an e-commerce platform within Salesforce, but I've been here for about 6 years. I know every part of our platform. What's exciting about today is that we're connecting Unity to almost every part of Salesforce. Well, that's what's exciting for me. I don't know what's exciting for you, and then I'll take you through all of that, how we can make all that data actionable.
Yep. So why we're here and why Unity and Salesforce is working together is because we've both seen a ton of change in the last 3 months, right? So there's been 10 years of change in the last 3 months. This is according to McKinsey. That's largely been accelerated by COVID, but it's also now the technology that's there today, and people are on board with it. People are starting to see the value proposition of that. So the change really is a fundamental shift going on right now. And in large part, a lot of the smart companies recognize that what got them to where they are today is not what is going to get to where they need to be tomorrow. And so we see a lot of investment in this space, both monetarily and through resources and through consulting engagements. So Unity has a vision where, by 2025, 80% of the top 1,000 brands are going to be selling through some sort of real-time 3D experience. What you're going to see is real-time 3D is one of many endpoints of sort of the journey of real-time 3D. But that interactivity, that seeing things how they fit in your house, seeing things how they fit on your body, that immersion is just such a richer experience to customers, and we have stats that show buyers love it, and it's really positive for sellers. So the change is that everyone is seeing that the communication of what you can explain about the product is so much stronger when you transition from a 2D only into a real-time 3D. They know that they have to meet shoppers everywhere they engage with content. So that's mobile, that's PC, that's soon to be more devices, on our heads, on our faces. And the other big thing that's changing is the collaborative nature of that. So how can you share your shopping experience with friends? How can the business decisions when bringing the products to market be more collaborative, so you're making better decisions as an organization as well? And from less of a passive to more engaged and interactive engagement. So where you really get to explore the product as a customer at your own leisure. You're not forced to see a shoe at 5 static angles that somebody else selected. You're able to explore cars and the IP dashboard as you would on your own time and what really interests you. So we're working with a lot of brands, both companies, innovative brands that are building these game-changing experiences. So together, that's what we offer, sort of the whole real-time 3D to the actual transactional shopping experience. So what are they using real-time 3D to do? So oddly enough, one of the biggest use cases is just generating photorealistic images. So the way that the current marketing channels are built, they're built for images and movies. So transitioning to real-time 3D requires company to sort of amortize those costs over their current marketing channels as well as sort of the new ones. So again, getting that photorealistic content out of your master scene model is a critical component of transitioning to real-time 3D. They need to create and manage, create, manage, and deploy all these assets from a single platform. That's the holy grail, right? So they don't want to have different systems for where their data is stored or where they collaborate on or where the analytics are on the dashboard of how the content's performing in these different platforms. Everybody uses different platforms for all the right reasons, but so aggregating all that information into one dashboard of how your content is really critical to the customer needs. You're not just letting the users configure or build their own custom products. You actually now have the ability to sort of profile your customer and send them the best product for them at the very start of the engagement, so they don't have to do the heavy lift of selecting the type of vehicle or the color or the trim option. So this personalized content is another key element of why brands are adopting and moving to real-time 3D. And then obviously a whole bunch of hype about the metaverse and things like that, but essentially this is social commerce. That's going to change the way it's delivered, it's going to change on devices, it's going to change in fidelity. But again, real-time 3D powered by a gaming engine, that's what Unity has the power to provide and allow creators to deliver. So again, related to sort of social, you've heard other speakers talk about the Snap ad platforms, the Meta ad platforms. Now Google's on board. So all of these ad platforms are now supporting this interactive content. So being able to deploy this in an optimized way, have different versions, different LODs of content, depending on where you're delivering. That's what this is all about. And I'll hand it over to Nat.
So, you saw the stat at the beginning where we talked about how the pandemic changed everything. One of the things that it did is it forced us to imagine a world in which potentially everything we did was digital and none of it was physical. And when you are shopping on a grid, it's okay if you're doing it for 10 minutes, but if you have to be there for hours, all of a sudden you lose context. So we're introducing a concept called contextual commerce. So this is from our State of the Commerce report, which Salesforce publishes every 2 years. And we define it as anything that's bringing context back into your purchasing decision. So we're going from physical, where you can touch, feel, see, and understand the product, to digital. So how can we use VR and AR and technologies such as Unity to bring that context back and make that digital experience real again? So here are a few examples, right? So we have the example of you're using a chair and you can't go see it, you can't sit in it, you can't feel it, but you can see what it looks like in your space. You can see if it fits, if it goes with the decor. We have an engine that you're interacting with in a vehicle. So this is an example where you're interacting, understanding, decomposing the item. And this is almost super real. It's better than it would be if you were just staring at the car when you were there. And finally, we have a tent where you're unfolding it and have the ability to do that. And this has and presents itself with new opportunities such as storytelling. Like, what if we had within that animation the ability to see the wear and tear by fast forwarding 20 years and see what the wear and tear of 20 years of camping would do on that. So it actually brings us and introduces sort of new concepts. And we're seeing that high performers, so we define high performers as companies that rate themselves as being very successful in their e-commerce strategies. And they are adopting contextual commerce more than the other companies in this space. And in fact, we're seeing the next large wave of generational consumers, Gen Z, are diving into these experiences at higher rates than the previous generations. So they are willing and looking for these experiences for everything from virtual events to augmented reality. And this also includes a little bit of live chat, which is very interesting. So for example, you can't talk to a sales associate anymore. What if you could talk to them virtually over a video channel? What if the sales associate that you were talking to wasn't even real? What if they were an AI? And so as somebody who's maybe shy to talk to a sales associate in person, you wouldn't have that problem, right? So that's kind of the sort of world that we're entering into. And we're seeing that consumers love these experiences. 78% of these shoppers prefer them to video and simple, traditional, old media, as you might say, now anyway. 76% of shoppers, they've indicated that actually it has influenced their purchasing decisions. What if you're like, say, buying a bag? You go into the store and you're wondering, I didn't bring my laptop, I didn't bring my wallet. This is like a very like woman problem. But you're wondering, is this bag gonna fit all my stuff? But you can't like take it home and do that. But what if you had an application that allowed you to virtually place those items in the bag, and you could visualize if it could in fact fit those items with those dimensions? So this could influence your purchase. And finally, 63% of customers want to do this. They want to examine products virtually, even above and beyond physical. And we're not talking about discarding the physical element. We're definitely talking about a blend of both worlds. Now, where is the future of this going? And there's sort of 3 different areas in which we're hoping to take this, and we're already developing that into the asset and the demo that we're going to show you. One is, a lot of VR assets out there will have the VR experience, and they'll say, we created this interactivity, we created this engagement. Great. So what? What happened to the user after they left that experience? Did you capture any of that data? Are you using that data intelligently to market to them? What if you could shop right then and there without leaving the experience? So this is what we're calling meta-commerce. So the ability to check out, to use commerce in a headless way, meaning not in a traditional website way, at any endpoint to be able to facilitate the reaching into cart, pricing, inventory, purchasing, configuration, your stock, et cetera. Interaction and gamification, right now we have the Oculus headset, and you go on there and you're looking at apps. What are the apps that you see? Games. Everything is a game. We don't really have a lot of shopping apps yet, but we do think that that's going to be the future because that's where revenue aligns with, what brands are actually looking to do, that they can start making money in it. But we could bring some of those gamification elements to shopping as well. So being able to interact with the items, like for example, we're going to show you a vehicle. Well, what if you could take the vehicle for a test drive, and that could be part of a little mini game loop within that experience. And finally, having a guided experience. So I don't know if you've had this, but if you've ever had your mom put on the headset and then experience the horror of their panic because they don't know what they're going to do in there, you know that not everybody is going to pick up those handheld devices and know exactly how to troubleshoot. Why should they? Why should it be hard, and why should it only be for techies? What's more appealing is videos and those engaging experiences. In fact, my mom loves to watch the dinosaur film because she sits there and the entire experience unfolds before her and she can see it very viscerally. So what if we brought that to shopping as well, and we could guide the customer through a story about the product? What if we highlighted how the product was made, or showed the factory where it was handmade, or the materials that it was made with? I'm working with a UK automotive company. They have this special color which they call racing green, and the racing green actually looks different depending on where you're standing around the vehicle. And that's something that we could replicate in virtual reality, because we could indicate and guide the consumer towards standing in those different spots, and then we could augment and change the color. So how can we create a narrative, a richer narrative, a storytelling experience? In terms of this medium, we're just scratching the surface. So do we have time for the demo? Does anybody want to see the demo? Yeah. Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry, I was going to cancel it. But okay, I'm just kidding, guys. I was going to show you this, don't worry. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. Now, this was an asset created in partnership with Unity, but also if I don't mention Stefan Kerr, he's never going to create another asset for me again. So I do have to give him big props and kudos. This is a solution engineer out of Switzerland. He's connected this storefront in this environment, which is built in digital twin, to our synchronized headless commerce storefront. So actually, the consumer puts on the Oculus headset, and while they're interacting with the vehicle, all of that data is being mirrored on the website. Now within the components, we can actually edit the interactivity, so you can pull up options, colors, etc., and we're simultaneously collecting marketing data about that individual. So this experience does not live in silo. It's not something that you sort of have, and here we have Stefan making a guest appearance in the top right-hand corner out of his living room, which is where he filmed this video. But this just shows you how easy it is to have these experiences. And what's interesting is that it's all in the Oculus headset, right? So this is the high fidelity and high quality that Unity can bring even to, Android, sort of some of the lower end headsets, right? But this is realistic. Why? Because if you're a luxury car manufacturer and you are selling a vehicle that may not exist in this particular combination, what's the number one complaint? that those customers have. They get the vehicle and it's not what they expected because they pick the options out of a catalog, and this is very different. Here we are inside the interior, and you can actually engage and interact with the wheel, and so the next step of this would be like, what if you could actually take off and drive? But additionally, you can change the scenery, so you can actually change the environment to place the vehicle in different places if you wanted to, and you can kind of really extend all of this. Now, this doesn't have to be in a headset. It can be on a website, but we've sort of made it in a headset to show you the limitless capability of connecting these two systems. So this is all connected to commerce, meaning that the variations, the colors, the prices, the inventory, everything is actually coming out of the commerce engine and is being connected to the visual front end. But you can also begin and create a lead that's sent to sales, to CRM, and through Slack to alert them that somebody is in the process of purchasing this vehicle. So imagine you sent this headset, $300 to your lead. He or she went ahead and configured a $100,000 vehicle, and then they went ahead and just completed the purchase or went through the entire checkout process without having to leave the experience. This isn't just for automotive. We created an automotive because of the complexity of that purchase cycle, but you can imagine this for travel, right? Creating a destination where somebody goes to the place and without having to leave that resort can actually book their trip right then and there. Today I was talking to Kristen about a media use case where they were showing a preview of a movie and you could just buy the ticket. So what if you had a trailer that was VR and you could just buy the ticket without leaving the experience? Now, here we have the corresponding cart within commerce. And once the customer goes ahead and actually makes the purchase, we're going to see that data and all of that information that we've collected flowing into our marketing cloud. This is our marketing engine that's going to be using this to segment audiences, retarget them, remarket them, understand where they fall into what category, and we can build what we call a customer 360, meaning a full 360-degree view of our customer and understanding of what they're interested in. And so here we can have kind of building a bit of a profile that can be used towards future purchases. Once the order is placed, it goes into our order management. So this order wasn't placed on a website. It was placed in an Oculus headset. But it goes and is directed to the order management where we can now begin the work order for creating, building, shipping the vehicle. Either it may be something that's already in inventory or it could be something that we're building that new. And from here, we'll have the ability to see the customer information is connected to Salesforce CRM. And we can see everything about that customer, including what their shipping address is, what was their payment method. We can do a refund, return, exchange from this without leaving the screen. And it's all connected to the central CRM database. Okay, well, I think there's a lot more here, but I don't have a lot more to say. So
I'll just chime in real quickly.
Go ahead.
So for me, the aha moment of seeing this in action at Trailblazer and seeing the customers engage with it was, first of all, their engagement level was off the charts. They were so excited to see this car in this new way. And we would ask them, do you feel like you could purchase this $100,000 car? And their answer was like, yeah. But so we teed it up with, could you buy it from a picture? No. Could you buy it after that experience? Yes, I could. And then seeing the whole transaction being tracked live on Salesforce, seeing the actual transaction happen in the Oculus, an untethered device. Again, not the best quality VR head-mounted display out there in the market, but the freedom that it gave to all the people that attended the demo was just phenomenal. So it's really exciting to see the customers sort of really enjoy the experience and get more from it than just a static web page. And that's what the whole effort's all about. So, really quickly, we are running a little short on time, but going to talk a little bit about how we're doing this. So Unity and Salesforce together, sort of, as you've been hearing, we're trying to future-proof shopping. A big part of this effort was to answer the question of how Salesforce is going to answer their customers' questions of how are you going to help me in Web 3.0? How are you going to help me engage with the metaverse? So they've partnered with Unity, and together we're answering that question. So what Unity is bringing to the table is a Unity Digital Twin Commerce Cloud. So it's an end-to-end platform that is comprised of 4 main pillars. It's basically the data prep out through delivery and publishing, A lot of this audience understands that in quite detail. So just really quickly, it's the import and transform. It's the building of the digital twin, matching it to exactly how it's sold in the real world. That can either be done by authors and editors or through linking to ERP, PIMs type systems. So it can be system-to-system integration or manual effort. Manage and collaborate, that's where like more of your organization now gets into the platform and makes all your business decisions, your go-to-market decisions, and as well as then you push it out to the different commerce channels that you're using, and then publish and analyze as that action, and then what are the results through all your channels? How can you do A/B testing? How do you get better performance? What are customers more interested in? What do you have to build better stories around to explain things because there's questions? So that's what that platform offers. And specifically, the Unity and Salesforce Commerce Cloud integration makes it so that you can publish directly from this Unity platform into Salesforce, and all that metadata that is applied to that digital twin product is ingested into Salesforce. It can be pulled originally from Salesforce system. It can be pulled from other PLM systems. But essentially that metadata of the product, that what is it as a digital twin, gets carried on to the Salesforce platform and displayed on their site.
So what does the architecture look like? So we have the headless storefront that we just showed you. That's connected to managed runtime, meaning that you can build experiences anywhere, but we will host it for you, and we will provide the security, the protection against DDoS attacks for you to build any kind of experience that you want. The actual endpoint of the vehicle was built in Unity on top of their digital twin commerce platform. This is connected to APIs, which are connected to all of the commerce services within Salesforce e-commerce, including cart payment, being able to search and pull up items, SEO, A/B testing. All of that is fed into the Customer 360 to all of the back-end CRM database systems, out of which you can begin to run marketing campaigns, targeting sales lead generation, sales information, et cetera. And of course, finally, the final layer for this to be connected to your back-end systems like your ERP for execution. Currently, we talk about the Customer 360 being at the center, and what this means is for every single part of our portfolio, we can connect these in this new AR and VR environment to the Customer 360. So handling everything from commerce to marketing to order management, including Slack and collaboration with the sales team or internal tools, and then facilitating that connection to service in case there are issues or customer support requests. So we know that this works. We know that brands love the results. 94% are more likely. They have increased conversions because of the existence of 3D. 66% see increased engagement, and of course, increases in purchases using 3D images. And the best part is that this is available today. This is not fake or futuristic. You can put all these technologies together today, make it work for your brand. And if you're interested in talking to us, here we have a QR code for landing on the Unity site and the Salesforce Commerce site as well.
All right, thank you. Any questions?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I saw that you are importing CAD and scans. What other file types does Unity support? You're talking GLB, GLTF. So what are the?
Yeah. So.
Where's the original 3D asset originating from?
It can be either CAD, which is various formats. Pixies, a company we acquired about a year ago and we've been working with for a long time, they support, I believe it's 76 file formats. It can output GLB, it can output GLTF directly. We're working on USDZ. But basically, it imports the CAD file. So that's for companies that sort of have that design data in-house, that manufacturing data in-house. The other is scanning, so through a company we acquired, again, REST AR. Yep. So we have like an easy-to-use scanning technique. We also have one that's sort of built for scale for at factory. So essentially, we have solutions for either if you have the data or you don't have the data. And then once you bring it in, you can sort of make your digital twin from that. That can still come from metadata. You can bring in your material library and map it onto like a single scan, so you don't have to scan every version of the product you make and manufacture. It can be one toaster in black, and then you can apply all the colors that it's sold in.
What if you have no 3D asset to start? You just have photography.
If you have what?
You don't have a 3D asset to start, you just have photography.
So we're working with partners. We have a partner sort of network that can do modeling. So some of it in all over the world. So it sort of depends on what you have. But if you have just reference photography, it can be modeled, and then you can do that same process. So it's basically data from design or manufacturing data. It's if you have the physical product, you can scan it, or it can be modeled by 3D artists.
I'll come find you after.
Okay.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, have you considered any privacy concern for the customer? Do you take any measures in account?
Yeah, the good thing is that because it's connected to the Marketing Cloud has the ability to manage permissions. And so we are connecting that to your preference center so that we can collect and get permission from the customer to gather that data and or share that data internally. So that's actually one of the benefits of having that data connected to Marketing Cloud engine. Yeah, you're welcome. Anyone else?
Great. Thank you so much. Let's give them a round of applause.